If you're researching a move to Chattanooga, you've probably looked at the numbers like home prices, taxes, the weather, maybe even the job market. But here are 5 things that I've found here that don't show up in any of that data. And honestly, they're the things that make this place really feel like home. Some of them are small and some of them surprised me. And one of them involves the community showing up for each other in ways that really reminds me of growing up in small town Maine. I'm Chris Roberts, your Southeast Tennessee relocation realtor, and I help people just like you from all over the country make the move to Chattanooga and Cleveland, Tennessee. And today I'm walking you through 5 things that I am super glad that I found right here in Chattanooga. And if you're ready to start exploring what life could look like here, I've got a free relocation guide that's linked right below. It covers things like healthcare, schools, neighborhoods, food and local culture, the stuff that you're not going to find on the Chamber of Commerce website. All right, first up is something that sounds really small, but it mattered more than I expected, and I admit that I have mentioned it a few times in the past videos. Now, when I first moved here, I was driving down a back road near my house, and this guy in a pickup truck, he just waved at me. Like, full on, hands up, with a genuine smile. And I looked behind me thinking, does he know me? Do I know him? Nope. He just was being super friendly. And now he tends to stop by every time that he sees me walking the dogs, just to chat about anything from the turnip greens that he's got growing in his garden for me to come and pick, to hauling building materials down to Georgia. Now, coming from the coast of Maine, where I like to think that we're pretty friendly up there, I don't know, I wasn't quite expecting to immediately find that same thing down here. But it's real. People wave. They say hello at the grocery store. They'll stop and help you if your car breaks down. And in fact, a couple of months back, Megan had gotten a flat tire and 2 people pulled off to the side of the road to make sure that she was okay. Now, the experience that you have in the city limits of Chattanooga could feel a little bit different than the experience 20 minutes outside of it. That's just the reality of the suburbs versus the city anywhere in the country. A part of what I do is help you navigate those pockets so that you're not guessing where you'll actually fit in. And it's funny, one of my past clients that we'll learn about later told me how her neighborhood in the heart of Chattanooga proper has begun to look out for each other. Now, in the areas that I recommend to my clients, this kind of genuine friendliness is pretty common. And now, after almost a decade of living here, I still smile every single time that someone waves. Have you experienced that southern wave before, or do you live somewhere where that would be considered a little suspicious? Let me know in the comments. Next up is something I really wasn't expecting. Coming from Maine, I had access to incredible seafood. My dad, he even owned a scallop fishing boat, and my mom's side of the family ran one of the highest grossing independent restaurants in the entire country. So my bar for food is pretty high. Was I expecting that high level of food when I first moved here? I didn't really have much for expectations there, but the food scene here is really vibrant. We're talking farm-to-table spots like Feed Tavern and Table, incredible Indian food at Spice Trail, and Little Coyote, which has extraordinary cocktails in small plates, and the soft-serve ice cream that they make, which they have different seasonal flavors, is just out of this world. And then you've got Mad Priest Coffee Roasters, this local gem that started in a tiny 400 square foot space, just like my first juice bar. And now they've expanded because the community loves them so much. And then we've got Sleepyhead Coffee, Velo Coffee, coffee for days. And in Cleveland, there's Ruddle's Bread and Book, which is just this delightful spot where you can grab a pastry and then walk around downtown before heading over to Hedrick's Burger Bar for lunch. And in Chattanooga's south side, you've got Bluegrass Grill, Kenny's Sandwiches for a hearty breakfast, and then the Gray Flower Deli in Appleton is famous for their pizza on Friday nights. And look, you can even get Maine lobster here if you're desperate. There's a Cousin's Maine lobster food truck that rolls on through. But honestly, I don't even miss it. The food culture here is really creative, passionate, and it keeps getting better. So if you're a foodie, you're going to really be happy here. And now the natural beauty of this area, that really matters a lot to me. I was born in Bar Harbor, Maine, the gateway to Acadia National Park, which is the oldest national park east of the Mississippi. I grew up with these rugged coastlines, granite peaks, and some of the most breathtaking scenery in the country. So when people told me that Tennessee was beautiful, I was like, yeah, sure, we'll see. And then I got here, and they were right. The natural beauty in Southeast Tennessee is stunning. We're at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains right here. Lookout Mountain offers some panoramic views that'll take your breath away. The Tennessee River winds right on through the valley, perfect for kayaking, paddleboarding, or just sitting on the bank with a good book. We've got waterfalls all over, caves like Raccoon Mountain Caverns, and trails that range from easy family walks to serious climbs for the adventurous types like my sister Alex. And the fall foliage, it's nearly every bit as spectacular as what I grew up with in Maine. It just never seems to last long enough. One of the things that I love most is that you can be in the wilderness within an hour drive from the city. You don't have to plan a whole weekend trip just so that you can go. And that kind of access to nature, it's one of the things that keeps me here. If you want to learn a little bit more about how Chattanooga became the very first national park city in the country, go ahead and check out this video right here. All right. Here's something that, even though I mention it often, it still doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Chattanooga's location is incredible. We're within 2 hours from Nashville, Atlanta, Knoxville, Birmingham, and Huntsville. And that means that you can live in a city with a relaxed pace, a lower cost of living, and really easy access to nature, but you're still a quick drive from world-class museums, concerts, airports, and healthcare. Want to watch a show in Nashville? It's just 2 hours. Need to fly international out of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport? 2 hours. Are you craving a weekend getaway to the Smokies? Just about an hour and a half. But here's the thing. You get all that access without dealing with constant traffic, Nashville-level housing costs, or feeling like you're always in a rush. Chattanooga has this wonderful balance. It's vibrant and growing, but it doesn't feel overwhelming. Coming from a small town in Maine where Boston was the closest big city option, and that was 4 hours away from where I grew up, this has been huge for me. And for a lot of my clients who are relocating, it's one of the main reasons that they end up choosing this area. All right, this last one is the one that really made me feel at home. And I teased this earlier, and it's something that I hadn't seen since growing up in a small town in Maine. Chattanooga has this really extraordinary sense of community. And I don't just mean that people are nice. I mean that people genuinely show up for each other. One thing that I've really started to notice over the past few months is a number of these small neighborhood pantries that are popping up around town. Now, these are little roadside pantries where anyone who needs a hand up can grab some food. No questions asked, no judgment. There are about 7 of them in Chattanooga right now, and a few more in Cleveland being managed by Cleveland, Tennessee's Community Resources. Now, it's this quiet, tangible way that neighbors are taking care of neighbors. And it's not just the pantries. We've got organizations like the Seed Theater, which creates inclusive, accessible arts programming for everyone. And we've got community gardens, volunteer groups, and people who just care. Now, look, I want to be real with you. This is still Tennessee. Our state legislature doesn't always reflect the values of the communities that I'm showing you here. And as a guy in my mid-40s, I know that I don't experience the world in the same way that a lot of people do. But what I can tell you is that I've found pockets, neighborhoods, businesses, organizations where people are actively building a community that values that kind of kindness, inclusion, and showing up for one another. I believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to be happy, healthy, and safe. And while I can't promise that experience is universal everywhere in this region, I can help you find places where you're most likely to feel at home. Because finding the right house is one thing. Finding your people is what makes it feel like home. All right, so those are the 5 things that I'm really glad that I found here in Chattanooga. The Southern hospitality, the amazing food, that natural beauty, that proximity to major cities, and a community that genuinely shows up. Now, is everything perfect? No, it isn't anywhere. And like I said earlier, the experience can vary depending on where you are in the region. But if you're someone who values authenticity, access to nature, a strong sense of community, and a slower pace without sacrificing opportunity, Chattanooga might just surprise you in the way that it surprised me. If you're seriously considering a move to Southeast Tennessee and you want to have a real conversation about what life is like here, not just the highlight reel, I would love to talk with you. Go ahead, click that link below, get my free relocation guide. It covers healthcare, schools, neighborhoods, food, local culture, the stuff that really matters once you start actually living here. And if you want to go deeper, you can schedule a free Zoom call with me down there as well. I'll answer your questions, share more about my own experiences, and help you figure out if this area is it for you and your family. My number is going to be right here on the screen in front of you, and you can call or text me anytime. I absolutely love helping people just like you make the move, and I promise I'll be honest with you about what to expect. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos about what your life could be like in Chattanooga and Cleveland, Tennessee.